As soon as we find a hotel, we shall send for our bags. I took care to leave nothing of value on board. Everything is safe and secure right here. I even have a rough map. As you can see, Holmes, I prepared for every possibility. And here we are in the New World. A whole continent ready to welcome us with open arms. Is this not invigorating, Holmes? Think of the challenge that lies ahead.
Indeed, Watson, but let me remind you that we have few clues and time is not our ally, and countless lives rely upon our success.
You are right, Holmes. Perhaps we should secure some local currency with our bills of exchange. At the present, we have but a few dollars at our disposal.
Welcome to New Orleans. Interesting ship. Okay, I just noticed that there were some nipples on display. Let's go this way.
One more step, and your brains will be about as useful as gator bait.
The continent welcomes us with such hospitality, doesn't it?
Beg pardon, my good man. Is the bank closed for some time?
As long as it takes Mr. Blackman to come back from Baton Rouge with more dollars.
You were robbed.
Not hardly. We had a jewel sale.
When might one expect Mr. Blackman to return?
He likely could come back most any day, but he'll be gone 3 days at the least.
Is there anyone else who could shed some light on this transaction? You see, we have come from Europe and are interested in a particular set of precious stones. It may well prove to be this same set your bank sold recently.
I ain't talking, and I don't know nothing about it anyhow.
Maybe he might talk with a bit of persuasion.
There is one feller, goes by the name of Champagne. He's Cajun. He knows everything that goes on around these parts. You can most likely find him near a pile of planks at the end of the pier.
Everything has its price in America, isn't that what they say?
I believe that we passed a sign that said Cajun quarters somewhere nearby. Okay. This way. And I will be making more use of first person during this section. Firstly, because this area is a bit of a pain in the arse to navigate. And secondly, you will see why soon enough. Okay. Hi there.
With open arms, Watson?
Napoleon, Lafayette. Don't mind the dogs, they just don't take to the smell of gentle folks, especially foreign ones. So what can old Champagne do for you? How's about some planks for your boat, or maybe a ride in Gator's Bath?
Some other time, perhaps. People say that you know everything that occurs in this area.
Maybe so. Don't care much what them people say. What you want to know?
We are particularly interested in a recent transaction in precious stones. No doubt you are familiar with these events.
For sure that's true. Now that you say it, I reckon I heard of some swap for jewels. I would help you out, but my poor brain's like the train with no coal. What you want me to do? Now there's a bottle of some champagne or this and that. Old Champagne will have a thing or two to say to you.
Well, we don't actually have any champagne, but we do have some of this or that.
Speaking of that, it come to me true. It was a week ago, maybe two. A butler working for a rich man made himself a jewel trade to Honor and Co. Looks like business to be done fast and with a quiet way. By my foot, the truth is here now.
The name of the employer of this silent partner?
He go by the name Honerson. He from far up the bayou to the east. He got some crazy notions, that'n. They must be all like that where he come from.
No doubt. One other matter. During the last few days, have you noticed any strange ship movements, especially regarding those taking leave of port late at night?
You did right by old Champagne, so I tell you true. 5 days ago, a ship, she weighed anchor in the middle of the night. She took sail right after a mess of folks brought a lot of boats to meet her and charged on board. These all came from the swamps. Could be toting contraband. Anyway, left for the old world for sure. Old Champagne keeps to his own self. No reason to know nothing more. And advice to you, stay clear. Those that sticks their nose where it don't belong end up feeding the gators round these parts.
We shall consider ourselves duly warned. Good day.
And if you wants to go for a ride in the bayou or something else, old Champagne treats you right. I take dollars, bottles of you know what, right?
Oh, I know what. So, let's head back out.
Holmes, our bag! Thief! Stop! Thief!
Yeah, I'm not doing this in third person.
Stop!
Thankfully, this is a very considerate thief.
It would be better to turn back.
Oh yes, this way.
There he is.
Well, I say that he's considerate, but he doesn't make it easy for us. He does wait for us, though. Good doggy. Excuse me. Yeah, thanks for the help, pal. Jesus, what's going on?
He's there!
Thanks. Excuse me, sorry. Don't mind me.
Stop!
It doesn't really help if you just stand there and watch him run off. Um... Oh, so Watson is here. I thought we were playing as Watson. Okay, that looks like a sheriff and some deputies.
Stop right there, you two. Not a move.
But the thief, he is going to...
Thief? What thief? All I see are two foreigners tearing up my wharf, making a lot of noise. I expect you have some sort of papers proving who you are and what business you have in my parish. I assume you have proof you're here legally?
What? Of course we have papers in our bag. But that villain, he... Well, upon my word, you allowed him to make off with our bag.
What are you insinuating, sir? Are you trying to offend me?
Gentlemen, look here. Calm down, Watson.
But can't you see that...
Watson? So you are Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson.
Please, spare us the pretense. You know very well who we are.
And a clever fella in the bargain. Listen to me and listen up good, Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson. You will leave tomorrow morning for Europe on the same ship that brought you here. No need to offload your bags. Just turn around and get back on board. Nothing good will come your way if you ignore my advice. Oh, and one more thing. Without proper papers, you're nothing more than outlaws here in New Orleans. And outlaws end up as gator bait in my parish.
With open arms, was it, Watson?
Holmes, enough.
It seems they were warned of our arrival and waiting for us. Let's find the wealthy side of the city and the house of this Arneson. Come, Watson, time is not our friend. Watson, let's pay a visit to this Arneson.
Thankfully, we can go straight to the French Quarter in Narlands.
Ah, Watson, it seems we have arrived at the place. Look there, on the iron door.
Now, are these buffalo or bison? I believe they're bison.
Looks like no one is here, Holmes.
It's a pity, Watson. This is our only lead. Good morning, miss. Please don't be alarmed. We won't harm you, my dear. What is your name?
Eula, sir.
Lovely. When we arrived here, you were looking through this gate. This is the residence of Mr. Arnson, isn't it? Do you know him?
Yes, sir.
Do you know if he is at home?
Don't rightly know, sir.
Watson,
Come now, don't distress yourself like this. Why all these tears?
Because of my little brother, Davy. He serves with Mr. Arneson, and been more than 5 days since I heard from him.
perhaps he went on a trip with Mr. Arnson.
No, sir. Tain't likely. I serves at the Gallagher's just the other side of the road. If they had left, I would have seen them. Something bad has happened. I can feel it.
But if you were so near, surely your brother would have cried out for help if there had been any real danger.
No, sir. Davy, he ain't like you and me. He's right smart in some ways. But Davy can't talk. Not a word. Besides, most evenings, we visits and sees each other across the stable door. And been more than 5 days since he been there. Oh, sir, I be mighty scared. Something has happened to him. I just knows it.
Miss, take us to this stable. Watson, I think this place is indeed isolated, and therefore quite vulnerable.
There it be. I'm gonna go wait on the road. That way, if my mistress calls for me, I can hear.
It is hardly secure, Watson. Regard the lock. It has a primitive wooden latch, which is also quite flimsy.
Okay, interesting. The bag seemed to have contained some money and our papers, but for some reason we're carrying this broken statue around in our jacket. Oh dear, okay. Excuse me, Watson.
Bravo, Holmes! Holmes, this horse is dying of thirst. Poor animal.
He has had no water for these past 5 days, Watson.
Unbearable.
Poor horse.
He can barely move. We must find him some water, and quickly.
I intend to.
This should prove useful. hope this gate is not locked, because it appears quite formidable. Open! Observe, Watson, these beautiful, well-tended flowers. Someone must care for them.
We're going to go the long way around.
This should prove useful. This should prove useful. This should prove useful.
Well, we found some water, but we just need a way to transport it to the horse. Oh.
Look, Holmes, a raccoon. Come here, you little rascal.
They won't allow us too close, Watson, though the little imps are rather inquisitive by nature.
Okay, there is one more flower that I need to find. We'll look at the bloods.
Water.
Oh, yes, of course. We will look at the bloods more closely soon enough.
This should prove useful.
There we go. Okay.
Another footstep. The hunt is on, Watson. Blood. However, given the small amount, the wound should be superficial. Wait, this is interesting. There's a trace of mud here. Some footsteps or marks, not clear enough to make out. Let's see if there are others. Some footsteps or marks, not clear enough to...
Okay. Let's turn around and see where they lead to. Or from.
Footsteps. Let's see. Watson, regard the traces in the soil. A body was dragged here recently. Undoubtedly it was a man of great size. More traces of mud. A person wearing shoes thick with fresh mud entered the garden by this gate. They entered the house and then returned, dragging a body back along the way. This erased some signs of their former movements, but not entirely. Fortunately, I have a particular talent for tracing footsteps. A neglected art indeed.
Ah, Holmes, there are thousands of these mosquitoes.
We must turn back, Watson, or we shall be devoured.
So Watson decides that he's going to run into them anyway. Yeah, it definitely looks like something was dragged along here.
What a wretched smell, Holmes.
Quite wretched, Watson. It is the foul stench of death.
Now, is that blood? Can I help you, Watson?
Ah, it's a ham. What a delectable aroma. If only I were hungry. Watson, hold the basin. I think you know what to do with it.
Yes. We know exactly what we're going to do with it.
Perfect. Easy now, fellow. Drink up. What could this be doing here?
I feel better now that he's had a drink. There we go.
Here you are, Watson. Blood!
Damn it, Watson! And I swear I heard someone trying to open a door handle.
What's this? Someone placed their hand near this footstep. Judging by the size of the fingers, it seems to be a youth. Why would they lean down here? Of course, to pick something up.
Okay, let's try door number 2.
Anson, with his servant, no doubt. These clothes belong to a servant, and judging from their size, he is a small man. Curious, there are some mud that appears to have come from underneath the bed. A stone of small size, but of splendid colour. It seems to have no flaws, and I doubt that it originated in the American continent. These footsteps indicate a person of small stature, and the fact that they are so closely set suggests they made their way with great stealth. This blood on the ground came from a deep wound. I cannot budge the handle. They must have lodged something behind it to hold fast the door. Shh, Watson, listen. Whoever you are, open up. We mean you no harm. Open the door for God's sake. It's a matter of life or death.
This is useless, Holmes.
Watson, your sensibility is appreciated. We shall come back later.